to the Hookup on Music with your host, Tony Bird.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hookup on Music. It is a special Saturday night, 133rd special episode. Not really that special because we've been gone for a couple weeks right before Halloween. So we are back, and we are coming back strong to finish off the year. The goal target is to try to get to 140 episodes by the end of the year. Let's see if after tonight we can wheedle off 6 more. But lots and lots of stuff has happened since the last time we've talked. Been rocking, been rolling, been listening to a lot of new music, seen a couple shows, been here, been there, and from what I gather, that's exactly where all of you have been. You've been listening to a lot of good stuff that is always currently dropping. Just yesterday, more new Megadeth off that new album that's going to be coming out soon. That graced my listening ears, which to be fair, it gave a really good punk vibe when I was listening to it when it was yesterday. To be fair, I Don't Care is the name of the track from Megadeth, which has the amazing Vic on the front cover doing a middle finger. It's got a really punk edge. If you're a fan of Megadeth or that's something that is definitely worth checking out. But without even pausing or going any further, let's get this show started. And let's see what we got here tonight. Got a lot of different stuff. A lot of stuff that maybe we haven't even done before. A little different things like name the longest song title you know. Out there, if you are listening, please, I'm sure right off the bat, you yourself have thought of lots of long song titles, but here tonight, we're going to talk about a couple of them. You know, it's it's fun to do these type of things. It's fun to get a little bit loose. It's fun to see what we have here and what we don't. But it's also just a very interesting thing to think of when you're coming up with these songs is how long can a song really, really, really be? There's just so many. Here's some. There's been quite a few charts lists. I was doing some. Here's REM. Okay, it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Okay, if you're at home and you're counting, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 letters right there. Very, very, very important to say. That's a long song title. Very, very long song title. Panic at the Disco has a song called "Lying is the Most Fun a Girl Can Have Without Taking Her Clothes Off." If you're at home, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. These are long song titles if you're not really paying attention. Sufjan Stevens, okay, he had The Black Hawk War or How to Demolish an Entire Civilization and Still Feel Good About Yourself in the Morning, or We Apologize for Inconvenience, but You're Going to Have to Leave Now, or I Fought the Big Knives and Will Continue to Fight Them Until They Are Off Our Lands. That is a lot of song in that one title right there. And also Sufjan Stevens, if you're not familiar, he's got a lot of long songs. PJ Harvey's got one, A Woman, a Man Walked By, The Crow, Knows Where All the Little Children Go. Very, very interesting. But you just dig and you dig and you dig and you say to yourself, I like when they go for it. You know what I mean? I like when the Flaming Lips, My Cosmic Autumn Rebellion, the inner life is blazing shield of defiance and optimism is celestial spear of action. A very interesting title right there. But Flaming Lips are always digging deep into some really, really cool psychedelia if you're really looking deeply here. If you're looking on the screen here, BJ Thomas released a song. It was called "Hey, Won't You Play Another Somebody Done Somebody Wrong Song." Um, that's one that is definitely a little long. Arctic Monkeys, you probably couldn't see for the lights, but you were staring straight at me. Very, very long. Off their debut album Title, which had a lot of words in it. Whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not. Very, very interesting by Alex Turner and Company. But out there, what are some of the ones that you've heard that are kind of long? Off of Umaguma, Pink Floyd, several species of small furry animals gathered together in a cave and grooving with a pick. What a title that you could barely say out loud. Um, but it is a strange entry onto the album and into the discography. Kind of shows a little slow descent into a little bit of some craziness, but you just it's interesting, very interesting because then you get super short titles. But tonight we're talking about longer song titles. So when you're out there, what are some of the ones that you think are longer? Okay, even someone like Lana Del Rey has a track. And when I say someone, I mean somebody who's super talented. Hope is a dangerous thing for a woman like me to have, but I have it. Very, very. Hey, I'm back right there. I'm sorry for that pause right there. I was talking about long song titles and it looked like it paused me out, which is very interesting because I did not see that coming. Um, Recently, on our most recent At the Show episode, we dug into Curtis Mayfield's Superfly album. Um, it's a winner. It is a lead track. I just need to let you know that if you are missing out on Mr. Curtis Mayfield, it's a great place to get started. Watch the movie Superfly. That's a lot of fun too. Here at the Hookup on Music, if this is your first time listening, we love movies as much as we love music, and we love Curtis Mayfield here quite a bit. We love funk music. Going forward, it's gonna be very tough for me to hide that from you guys. I think you need to know how much amazingness is in funk, and I think you also need to know how awesome just the 1, 2, 3 punch of Little Child Running Wild, Pusher Man, and Freddy's Dead. If people are familiar with Curtis Mayfield, one of the songs they seem to be most familiar with is Superfly. Um, what was awesome about Curtis Mayfield is just his awesome musicianship, great guitar player, excellent producer. He produced this album. Um, but go back and listen to our At the Show. We dig in a little deeper to it. But if it's been a while for you to listen to this, it's really good. Um, I first heard about it in high school. Told the story on the show about a girl who was on the newspaper who brought it in, and honestly, didn't know what to think because I just was. It was so, and I never forgot. And when I say it was so, it was like so. It was mind spelling. That's not even an awful word, but I do know that it was a good album, and if it's been a long time that you dug into it, it's definitely worth to spin on your double groove. We're digging a little bit deeper here in the vinyls going further. We're gonna try to put up a couple episodes a week. Trying to dig into a lot of different styles, a lot of different things. I know we've been talking about that a while here at the Hookup on Music. But it's finally to take a step forward. I think after 133 episodes, we we deserve it, you know. We deserve to step up a little bit and check out that Curse Mayfield album. It's really good. Also, go back and check out in that episode, we talked The Sopranos. And since that episode, I've been watching the show and the music that they have in The Sopranos. If you have never watched The Sopranos, because I've talked to a couple people who have seemed to never watched it, given it a chance. Some really, really good music is in that show. Really good tracks by the Rolling Stones. Really awesome tracks by the Kinks. Um, the Clash make an awesome appearance. So go into that and dig into some of that. That would be a really fun thing to do in a later episode, is to really dig deep into some of that Sopranos music, because there's some really good stuff, including um, the track that is in the show's intro, along with R.L. Burnside, is always a good time. So go back and check out that episode. Good time. Um, Speaking of television shows, just recently I've been trying to finish up The Peacemaker. And on The Peacemaker, they have a hell of a musical selection going on there. And John Cena and company do a really, really good job. But with Ozzy's passing recently, they had to have put this together before his passing, I have to say. But they played Ozzy's Dreamer. And Ozzy's Dreamer is just a track that really is a great, great, memorable track. And to be fair, it gives out a lot of emotion. Ozzy is known to be known for the heavy, but Ozzy can really put out the sentimental and the thoughtful. And honestly, that is one of my favorite things about Ozzy, especially later in life. I didn't really appreciate it when I was younger. I was always thinking he was going to deliver the hard edge, the hard edge Ozzy, which is always also really awesome. I'm not saying that the heavy stuff by Ozzy isn't amazing, because it's equally amazing. I'm just saying, sometimes thinking when we got heavy, we can't go a little light. And this Ozzy Dreamer track is definitely I think a really good one, and worth the time if it's been a while since you've checked out that one. Um, what we've been thinking about here recently is just how many tracks out there include superheroes or mentions of superheroes. And lately, as I've been trying to piece these together, I'm sure out there, the first one a lot of people immediately think about is, Kryptonite by Three Doors Down. If I go crazy, will you still call me Superman? Which is some pretty interesting lyrics when you're talking about Superman. Um, but there's quite a few that happen to mention Superman. Um, the Kinks, Wish I Could Fly Like Superman. If you have not listened to that track and it's been a long time, this is definitely one that you're going to want to spin on your turntable, or just go and try to find the track somewhere and blast it really loud. We don't discern here. But what we do is try to say that it's cool to intertwine some of this music. I mean, earlier the Arctic Monkeys track we talked about with the super long, which I'm not going to say again because it might just kick my power off again. I don't want to do that. But what I do want to say is that there's a longer version that I think they played maybe at like the dance clubs. And you might say, dance clubs? Song's got a good driving beat to it. A good driving beat you could bop your head to. And to be fair, it's really, really good. Um, they have another track, Catch Me Now I'm Falling, which mentions Captain America, which is kind of cool. They got a band singing about Superman and about Captain America. And then you start to think about some other tracks that talk about Superman. Recently, what got me thinking about this was Jimmy Olsen's Blues by the Spin Doctors. I was always like that song, Pocket Full of Kryptonite. Kryptonite is really definitely a Superman thing. But you say, is the Superman that Superman? And Jimmy Olsen is somebody who works at the newspaper with Clark Kent, and he seems to want Lois Lane, so he's saying in the lyrics, I've got a pocket full of kryptonite, which means don't worry, Superman's not going to mess with us. We are good to go. Um, find that to be very, very cool and interesting in the mixing in of superheroes into the lore of music. But being said of that, I think that very, very cool. Very, very cool. Also, before we move on here to some new music, recently listening to No Quarter again by Led Zeppelin, they mentioned Thor. No, I don't think it's the Marvel Thor, or it could be. It really depends on how you want to interpret the lyrics, but it's just cool to hear some of these superhero heroes be named. Um, Kings of Leon just released a 4-song EP. Some people out there might be saying they're not my bag. They can put up together some really good tracks that I think that if you yourself have not been digging into at all, you may want to take some time and definitely dig into this EP too. They got their own record label now. Honestly, that front cover, I think with the cherries, looks really, really cool. It's only 4 tracks. But they got some good stuff going on. Track one's got a really bouncy edge. Track two's got some really cool Curie bass with a good acoustic driving, and Caleb's voice, Followell's voice is amazing. Track three is a little bit on the slower end, but still it's a good track. And the final track, The Wolf, is a little bit more rocking with some really awesome lyrics. If you have not dug deeper into the catalog, they're a really good band. Have played a lot of different types of music. Um, and definitely always look forward to what they have and what they are putting out. Um, it is always a good time when they got stuff coming out. Um, we look forward to that all the time. Um, just recently here, got this sent to me. It's this new Drain album, which we are still trying to get a grasp a hold of over here because it's pretty darn good. But they are another band that is fast and they are quick. And the name of the album is Your Friend. Just came out last week. Stealing Happiness from Tomorrow, Living a Memory, Sacred Everything and Nothing But Love, Can't Be Bothered. It all gets started off like that with a lot of awesomeness. Um, Pint Glass is another new one that just came out recently that you definitely should check into if you're into metal. My main man Andrew sharing me these last two really good stuff. I gotta say that if you know anything that's really awesome, please share it with please share it. Please. We like to be shared this stuff. But you know what I mean? It's one of those things where you can never get too much music, especially down here at the Hookup on Music. And you sharing it is really appreciative, because it's not easy sometimes to reach out and share. So please share in the comments, share what you're listening to, share what you like. Check out the Drain album, check out the Kings of Leon, check out that new Megadeth track we talked about. New music is always really good and always really awesome. It puts together a really good vibe. Also brand new. Just listen to it. It is always a thirsty town around here. But that being I don't even know what that means. But that being said, Gorillaz has got a new track too, coming together with a little bit of a band we've talked about quite a bit on here. A really good band, who honestly, I'm really upset that I missed their set at the old Riot Fest, was Idols. And they've come together with Gorillaz for a new track. So go check that out if you are a fan of Gorillaz. That is really good stuff. You look at dig into as my main man Brian slash Magnificent Stan slash the host of the great what's that called? Um It's getting drafty in here. As you could see sometimes when you take 2 weeks off, you're just a step behind of what it is, that you, what it is that you need to do. You know what I mean? Is it and what we need to do is talk about this Don Henley album, and, that is a really good new album. What we're gonna focus on here, though, is the track "Dirty Laundry." And back to what Brian was saying, he says this is Don Henley's, um, I think he said his Talking Heads phase, which, Dirty Laundry definitely has that Talking Heads vibe, that bounciness, that what you're looking for at a good time at a club, like the Kinks song. Um, but really some cool guitar solos. First guitar solo by Joel Walsh. Second guitar solo by Toto's Steve Lukather. I think I've said that correctly. But the drums by Jeff Porcaro. Amazing drummer, also part of Toto, also part of some Boz Scaggs and some Steely Dan. Um, but also digging a little bit deeper on this Don Henley album, you really, won't, hear much stuff like this, from Don. And I hate to say Don like I know him personally, but it feels like I know him a little bit better than even the Eagles after listening to this album. I Can't Stand Still is a really good lead off track. There's even a tinge of reggae to it. Johnny Can't Read is a really good track. I like the keyboards all over this album. La El, Lila, The Unclouded Day. Um, it's a really good album before building The Perfect Beast, which comes next. It's a really good lead off album for a man who just broke up. He broke up with him and the band all together, all broke up in the Eagles, and to put together something like this is very, very amazing. But Building the Perfect Beast is also a really good solo album if you're looking for, We Know the Boys of Summer. But Down on the Sunset Grill is something really, really cool about it. Um, Honestly, some of the tracks on both of these two solo albums are really cool. Actually, the title track, Building the Perfect Beast, heard that recently on the radio, and I had never heard that before. That was a really good song. Another really good album with lots of really good deep tracks. Um, but here we are tonight. We're here at our main dish, the dish that we are here for. We are here to talk about the artist of the week. Artist of the week here. We got the Police. Sting has recently been named to play some concert for the Super Bowl before it. He's also coming to town here at the Hard Rock Casino up in Gary, Indiana, charging three figures, almost middle three figures to see him and his three-piece band. But he was part of another three-piece band, and that three-piece band was called The Police, and they had the jams, all the way from album one, all the way to the final album, Synchronicity. I really don't find that they had many low points. If you want to start with the drums had every sound you were looking for. And a really good band to play air drums with. Stuart Copeland is no slouch on the drums. Actually, nobody in the band is a slouch at anything that they do. Sting is a singer, Sting is a bass player. Um, Andy Summer is a guitar player, who's a few years older than the other guys. But there was always a tension in the band. I believe between the most Sting and Stuart Copeland, just a fighting of supremacy, a fighting of leadership. Neither one willing to take what the other one was going to be doing and taking it lightly without, any kind of regard for what they were doing. But the sounds that they had coming out, for me personally, I really, really love reggae music. But I don't think I would have loved it as much as I do if I didn't get introduced to like the Police. To me, they were like the band that kind of got me introduced to the reggae that made me like even some of the more stuff that I enjoy now, like the Peter Toshes of the world and of course the Bob Marleys and the really, really, really good stuff, the stuff that a lot of people out there just seem to miss out on. Um, but, Toots is another one, Toots Hilbert, Toots and the Maytals, I mean, you won't listen to some of that stuff if you don't get some of the influences from the Police. Um, and a band in such a short time only coming out with, the albums in which they did. It's kinda crazy that you chalking it up to, not getting along when the sum of all the parts should make you say, "Hey, this is a good time," but when you got songwriters like this, they don't need to deal with some of this stuff. In our heads, you're like, "Are you going to create more music for me to jam out on?" And I don't really believe that that is their intention, at all. I've heard people recently, dream of them getting back together. Their concert was really, really awesome, but when you can't stand to be in the same room together, you're not gonna get a whole lot more material out of them. Ghost in the Machine is probably my favorite of their albums. I like their cover. The cover is like what it reminds me of back to movies, The Predator. What is on his arm was like boop, 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 boop. But on here, it kind of like that's supposed to represent the band right there and how they look. In it looks like kind of some kind of numbers form. Ghost in the Machine, though, I always just like that title. I like the black, I like the red, I like the white. Remember seeing this 8-track as a child and just saying, wow, this one's gotta be filled with good stuff, and it is. Spirits in the Material World is one of the best songs that you might ever hear, and, it is definitely worth your time, along with tracks like Demolition Man at over 6 minutes, Rehumanize Yourself, um, Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic is the track that probably everybody knows the most off the album, but some of those deeper tracks, really, really worth your time. Um, but by this time, they're fighting more and, they're getting ready to release their final album, Synchronicity, which had some of their biggest hits, which rarely comes. Generally, your final album, you're fighting so much, you can't create such a great, sound, a great tone, a great anything that would lead to, you know, non-fighting or non-infighting. But Synchronicity has cool because 'cause it's got Synchronicity Part 1, Synchronicity Part 2, Wrapped Around Your Finger, King of Pain, back to Weird Al, he did King of Suede. If you've never heard that, that is quite amazing. Um, but just seem to be really cool guys. I mean, really, really cool in that they created really cool music. I didn't know them personally. A lot of times as a kid, you'd hear Sting and you'd immediately think of the wrestler. Um, but Sting the musician is equally as cool. And if you can have tickets to go see him, I don't see why you would not want to go see him. But the Police are just really, 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 really awesome. Um, but before we roll out here, um, we got concerts. They're starting concerts already around here. Lots of concerts. They got lots of good stuff already being lined up. And honestly, I think this next summer is gonna be a big, big summer of concerts. Iron Maiden has already been, named, coming to towns near you, coming to Tinley Park if you happen to live in the Chicagoland area. That would be really cool to see. Florence and the Machine just had a new album out. She's got a tour coming. That would be really cool to see at the Allstate Arena. Um, Generally, I love just getting ready to hear about who's gonna be playing. Before you know it, we'll be getting, who's the Riot Fest, but just a really good time to really start to keep your ears to the, grind. Just this past week in Chicago, there were 2 concerts that would have just been, um, amazing to go with you guys out there. One would have been Robert Plant, who is still just putting on great, 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 great live shows. And the other one is Tom Morello, who, if you get a chance, check out his set list. I mean, he's playing all kinds of awesome stuff. But he was also part of Audio Slave and Rage Against the Machine. So what else are you going to expect from somebody who's an amazing guitarist like him? But everybody out there, please, thank you so much for joining me tonight. This is great to be back. Right up here on the screen for the final couple minutes here is hit this merchandise thing. Check out the things that my main man Yumper is putting together. Check together that at the show episode I talked about earlier. We talked The Sopranos. We talked that Curtis Mayfield will be back here soon. So check out this upcoming Friday. Check out all the stuff at the Sadistic Penguin Studios.com. Check out Frame by Frame. Check out the last Bond episode. Really good music talk on there. We're going to be back this week with some more Bond, Octopussy. That should be really awesome. But everyone out there, like I said, keep tuned in. And please like and subscribe. It's very, very important to like and subscribe here at the Hookup on Music. We really, 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 really appreciate it. Thank you for joining this special Saturday night episode. If you are watching on Saturday night, if you happen to be watching any other time, we appreciate it just as much. It's cool to talk music. It's cool to be part of the Hookup on Music. And it's cool to be sharing it with you. So we will be talking soon. And soon is going to be later this week for episode 134. So please tune in for that. And please tune in for all the other cool stuff that is going on around here. And we definitely will be seeing each other soon. My name is Tony B. This is the Hookup on Music. Thank you for joining episode 133. Everyone out there, have a good week until I talk to you next time. Take care.
Thank you for listening. Please look out for the audio version wherever you jam.